Astrology is not just an ancient text, but it is an astronomical model defined by the movement of planets and stars through observation from our home planet Earth. Few have ventured into the deep mystical space of this dynamic science that holds the key to past, present, and future and all of humanity. It's a model that defines matrix of existence. Through this video series, we will explore few basic concepts of this mystic art to understand its enormity. Hello and welcome to another video on Punneit's astrology. While we are at the comfort of our home, let us get familiar with few very basic concepts of astrology. This is a 21 video series which will include 9 planets and 12 zodiacs. Now the intention of this video series is to make you familiar with the very basic pillars of astrology, which is zodiac signs and planets. What are they? What do they represent? We will try one video after one video. We will go into detail and we will get to know some very basic concepts on the Vedic astrology. So stay tuned for this entire series. I will upload one video per day for the next 21 days, and I will create a playlist for this so that it will be convenient for you to go through the videos. Sun, Surya, Aditya, the mighty star of the solar system that controls the function of all planets in the celestial body in the solar system. Sun is the center of our life. Sun is the star around which all the planets revolve. Sun gives light to the entire solar system. All the planets do not have light of their own, but they reflect the solar light. Sun is the king of Surya Lok, another word given to the domain of Sun. Surya Lok is the lok which is ruled by the Surya himself. Sun represents soul in the human body. In fact, all living beings derive life through Sun. We can take and explain it in a scientific manner, like every one of us eat food which is plant-based food, and plants make food through the process of photosynthesis. Remove the sun and the photosynthesis will not happen. What happens in photosynthesis? The solar light is converted into chemical energy and stored in the plant cells, which once we consume, and once we are the first consumer of the plant products, we become healthy, we are alive, and what we have in our human body, the carbon, nitrogen and the hydrogen body that we have, the oxygen that we consume, is all derived from plants, which directly drives the energy from the sun. So sun is actually what we feed on. What does sun represent? There are few basic attributes that is represented by sun. And the very basic attribute is ego, self-esteem, pride that you feel, authority. So if sun is strong, there is an authoritative attitude in a person. Sun defines health. Sun is power. Sun is stamina. Sun is your personality. Sun is also spirituality, because sun gives light. It burns, but it gives light to everybody else, and that is what spirituality is, showing path to the person who has lost its way. And one very unique property of sun is having, first of all, kingly attitude, but also one that can make you father. That means it also controls the attribute that is related to child. Why? Because sun is the natural 5th house lord. Okay, now sun, because it defines light, it also defines soul, because sun is the one that is represented as soul in Vedic astrology. So sun becomes the natural Atmakarak. Obviously, the concept of Atmakarak may not be known to most of you, but Atmakarak is the planet of the highest degree in the Gemini astrology. But in the natural realm, sun by default is the natural Atmakarak. Now, sun is the life giver, and you can see that there are a lot of festivals associated with sun. such as Chhat Puja, and the most famous festival which is known as Makar Sankranti, which happens on the day when Sun makes its transit to the sign of Capricorn. Now, why this festival is celebrated? This festival marks what you known as the northern movement of the Sun. That means the Uttarayan. That means the Sun will rise from the east but from the north direction. This happens when Sun remains and transits through Capricorn to Gemini. So that means from mid of January till mid of July. This will be the Uttarayan position. And once Sun moves into Cancer zodiac and remains till Sagittarius zodiac, that means till the first half of the January, it is called Dakshinayan. This Uttarayan and Dakshinayan defines the position of Earth with respect to the Sun, because Earth is tilted at a certain degree, 23.5 degree at its axis, and because it moves from one end of the Sun during the revolution to the other end, which in geography and physics we define as aphelion and perihelion, this Uttarayan and Dakshinayan defines remarkable moment where the seasonal change will happen. So you can say the 1 year is divided into 6 months period of 2 parts. So this is also how astrology is related to basic rotational movement and basic astronomy, and how astrology, and through the movement of reading of the Sun, we can understand how the seasonal change happens, especially in India. Next, in the honor of the Sun god, there is a Konark temple in Odisha where the entire temple is made in the form of a chariot, and it is a very remarkable beauty, remarkable architecture. And if you can go, at least you must visit that temple once. That will give you a very unique perspective towards the Sun as a god, as a deity, as a divine supreme being. Now, the basic thing that the Sun will give you is Sun will make you powerful. Sun will make you proud of your achievement. Sun will make you dynamic, famous, authoritative, and somewhat dominant in nature. So Sun defines absolute true masculinity. Now this is where you are burning your energy, you are burning and you are sacrificing yourself for the other, for the good of others. That's what Sun defines in reality. Now Sun defines self-esteem, because what you think about yourself, confidence, and Sun somewhat loves the center of attraction. So if Sun is powerful in your chart, you would definitely become the center of attraction, just as the Sun is the center of the solar system, and every planet gravitates towards the Sun and rotates around it. Sun is exalted in the zodiac of Aries. That is the first zodiac. Then Sun gets debilitated in the zodiac of Libra, which is the 7th zodiac. You can understand in this way. Aries is the first zodiac, and therefore it becomes the rising sign, and therefore Sun becomes powerful. Because naturally Aries is the first house. First house is the rising sign, that means Sun rises. So the king rises, so it is exalted. Whereas Libra is the sign where the Sun will set. Because Sun is setting, Sun gets debilitated. Sun rules the zodiac of Leo, which is the natural 5th house, so that becomes his own house. Next, you have to understand that there are few metals and there are few attributes related to Sun. On the day we know that Sunday is the day, Ravivar as you call. Metal, copper is the metal associated with Sun. So you will see a lot of astrologers recommending copper ring as a remedy of the Sun, but understand a remedy should be done only after consulting a professional astrologer, a learned astrologer. Don't do any remedies by yourself, especially which is related to gemstones or rings. Coming back, the gemstone of Surya, Sun, is ruby, which in Hindi is known as Madikya. Ruby is the pigeon blood red colored stone that is available and usually worn in the gold ring. The Mahadasha, that means that now the time period of the Sun is about 6 years. So we will see that the Mahadasha of Sun is of 6 years. Now Sun is also related to father, because Sun is the guru and father. So Sun is the first energy that you receive. So Sun is the lifeline, and therefore Sun is also the father, the guru, that means the father as the first guru. Sun also defines government, person in authority, your boss in office, someone who is higher in authority wherever you are, politics, politicians, physicists, scientists, someone who explores, because sun usually wants to give light, so researchers, philosophers, as well as it rules medicine, because see, whatever medicine you eat, if it is plant based, ultimately you are actually taking the solar energy in one form. And in food, wheat is also one dhan, or you can say one food item that is associated with sun. Now, from a very basic perspective, if I talk about the effect of benefic sun and effect of malefic sun, so there are two states of planet. One is called as benefic, one is called as malefic. How we will approach or reach towards the conclusion that it is a benefic and malefic is out of scope of this video. That only a professional astrologer, or after you have learned astrology to a certain extent, you will be able to identify. But if somebody tells, or you know, that sun is benefic, then what does a benefic sun can do? A benefic sun can make you a powerful leader. A benefic sun will give you this egoistic attitude, but having a strong personality. You would want to do good for others, you would have this kingly attitude, and nobody will be able to do any harm to you. You will have this idealistic approach towards things, and people will also idolize you and will want to be you. You will become famous, you will become popular, you will remain healthy, and you will also have a good bright face and warm smile. So sun, when is benefic, will accept everybody, and he believes in the power of inclusion, and he believes in the power of sharing. Sun, when exalted, will be a very bright king which deals with the praja, the public, as his own children. Sun, when exalted or powerful and benefic, will give you lifelong healthy and prosperous life, and sun will give you a lot of things to deal with. Sun will give you a lot of opportunities to do good for the society. You will be able to lead important position in the corporate world, in the world that you live. You will be able to hold an authoritative position, or you can become a very famous politician, or you can become somewhat famous in any of the field. Now that can be decided upon by reading an analysis of all other planets. But when talking about sun, sun will give you all these things if it is benefic. Your father may become famous. You will be born in a very rich and prosperous family, a family which has high moral values, who do good. So sun will control all these factors in your life. Now coming to malefic sun, that means if the sun is bad in your horoscope. What will happen if sun is malefic? If sun is bad and if sun is not performing well, then actually what will happen is that the sun loses the ground to control other planets. In that case, the horoscope may become reckless. You may face a lot of difficult scenarios starting from the childhood. You may face difficulty in relation with your father. Your father may be absent or virtually absent. You may fall into the path of darkness. You may get lack of fame. You may try too hard to do things, but nobody will appreciate your work. You will not be recognized, and you may be insulted and defamed in society, in the public, because if the sun is actually going very down, running very down in your horoscope. If sun is weak, say debilitated, then you will be hungry for validation. You will be hungry to identify yourself through some other person. You will always try to prove your existence, and there will come an existential crisis. So if sun is malefic, you need to also take care of your health. You may not be allowed to lead. You will try to lead, but you will not get the opportunity to actually lead and be in an authoritative position. So that may create a lot of struggle, that may create a lot of mental battles. Sun being the Atmakarak, this means the vital energy in your body is also slightly less. This means the immunity system is weak and compromised, so you need to be very careful about your health. If sun is weak, you may practice some dark energy, some dark practices, so try to avoid those. You should avoid alcohol, smoking, and every other this kind of malpractices that may impact the karma, and therefore this may bring darkness in your life. If sun is down, you should chant the Gayatri mantra, and you should chant Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityur Ma Amritam Gamaya, Om Shanti 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 shlok every day to bring light. Seek the light and go out from the darkness and move towards the light. If sun is weak, you should always consult an astrologer. Do not jump into wearing a ruby or doing some random remedies, but do consult a learned astrologer to understand how weak is the sun and what can be actually done. Because if Leo falls in your 6th, 8th or 12th house, you usually can't wear ruby. So you need to be very careful about wearing a gemstone. Just because you're in Sun Mahadasha, you cannot wear ruby just like that. So you should be careful about this. Sun, usually people do not focus on the sun. People have all the focus on Saturn, Jupiter, Rahu and Ketu. But usually it's the sun that controls everybody. The existence of all other planets is because of this one star known as sun. So if you pay enough attention to this one single planet, you will be able to identify and rectify most of the problems of your horoscope. So guys, that's it. It was all about sun. Next video we will discuss about moon. So stay tuned. In this astrology series, learn astrology with Punneit. This is your host Punneit. Thank you.